Feeling free from yourself is unlike anything else. Even if you don't realize it, what you truly want is to break free from your own self. You're tired of playing a certain role, feeling worried and scared. All these feelings come because you've learned to believe you're a certain way. You aren't just your anxiety, fear, or worries, those are things you've picked up, not who you really are. It's important to know that the person you've made up can change completely. How you look, act, and feel can all change. The person you think you are is just something your mind made up, it's not real. It's like a made-up character in your imagination. The character you think you are wasn't made on purpose, it's just how your mind learned to think. It's not your fault that you believe in this character. But the truth is, you've never really been this character, and it never actually existed, and never will. Even though it seems real, it's just a trick of the mind. Just believing what I'm saying won't really help you understand. I'm not asking you to accept my words without thinking. I want you to realize this idea for yourself. Think about who's watching this video. When you think about the me or I that's watching, remember that it only exists in your mind. You are not defined by the name or identity that you have been conditioned to believe is you. This false self is ever-changing, while the true you, which is consciousness, remains constant. No one is truly present because everyone's sense of self is just a creation of the mind. When you think about others, you're just thinking about other false selves that don't actually exist. Your true nature is the essence of truth itself. However, this can only be realized when the mind is completely still and silent, with no thoughts or disturbances in consciousness. When there are no ripples or waves in your consciousness, your true nature remains undistorted and pure. But when there is a disturbance or a ripple, it creates a distortion in your perception of reality. Every thought that appears in your consciousness creates distortion, and as there are millions of thoughts rushing continuously, it's always like rush hour in your mind. These thoughts are interlinked, holding hands with one another and creating a crowd that is rushing around you. With so much going on, it becomes difficult to discern what truth is. The solution is to step out of this crowd of thoughts. Meditation is the path to a consciousness that is devoid of thoughts, without any fluctuations and absolutely still. In this state of mind, the truth reveals itself in its complete glory and blessings. Whether you call it God, Nirvana, or any other name, it is an experiential reality that permeates through your being. You are a part of it, and it is a part of you. The presence of a physical body cannot be denied, but it does not mean that there is a separate entity within it. The concept of an individual, such as Jesus, is just a character created by the mind. What is real is consciousness, and we are all connected as one through it. The separation between individuals is a mental construct and not a true representation of reality. When we say that we are one, it does not mean that we are the same physical entity. It means that our true nature, which is consciousness, is identical. It is difficult to articulate the experience of oneness, but it is a profound sensation of freedom and tranquility. Once we realize that we are all one, we no longer have to worry about what others think of us, and fear and anxiety dissipate. When you experience the oneness of pure consciousness, you no longer care about others' opinions because there is no one here to have opinions. This experience is beyond our imagination, but it is what we all truly desire. It is not about being every false self but about being what we truly are. Pure consciousness is where we find unconditional love, and it is impossible to hate anyone, no matter what they appear to do to us. We realize that everyone who has wronged us or hurt us is actually us, and this brings a profound sense of peace and freedom. All the painful and traumatic experiences that your character might have gone through are ultimately experiences that you, as consciousness, brought upon yourself in various forms. Although I don't perceive separation and I know that there is no real concept of other people, I don't just walk around and start meditating, telling people that you are me. I still want to enjoy being a human and experiencing life. To me, life is like a dream, a movie, or a game, and once you understand that you are pure consciousness, you have the power to create your reality. You don't have to be a certain way. After realizing that you are pure consciousness, you no longer feel the need to present yourself in a certain way to the world. The idea of needing to be someone for the world becomes pointless and limiting. You are free from the limitations of the mind and the false self, which appears to exist within the mind. Being spiritual means you are free, and it doesn't require you to become a guru or a monk. You can still have personal preferences and not like certain individuals, but because you know that what they are is the same as what you are, you can still have unconditional love for them. To start realizing that you are not the person you think you are, you need to continually question everything. Ask yourself who is doing the thinking and try to locate the me. Ask yourself who is experiencing anxiety or fear. You will keep coming back to the feeling of me, but you will gradually realize that me is just a thought. There is no me in the body because you are not the body. To understand this, you need to experience it for yourself. Happiness is an essential aspect of life. It is something that is inherent in every human being, and without it, we cannot survive. It is present within us like an invisible energy that keeps us going. The only difference between an ordinary person and a spiritual leader like Buddha or Christ is their level of consciousness. They both experience the same happiness, but the spiritual leader is aware of it while an ordinary person is not. When you are aware of your happiness, you become grateful and appreciate life. But when you are unaware, you tend to complain and carry negative emotions that make life seem like a burden. Life should be a joyful experience, but when we carry it as a burden, it becomes one. The current of bliss exists as an undercurrent, similar to the way blood circulates in the body or we breathe. We do not usually become aware of it, just as doctors for thousands of years believed that blood was contained in the body. It is only when we explore within that we can uncover this undercurrent. This bliss is necessary for the existence of the soul, just as breathing and nourishment are necessary for the body. When we become aware of our bliss, our entire perspective changes, and we begin to see the world with new eyes. We see ourselves in everything, as existence is a reflection of our true selves. When you find out that happiness is really who you are, you understand that the whole universe is also full of happiness. This is what people talk about when they say liberation or realizing that everything around us is just like us.